sitting here watching this stream today, you cannot underestimate how ahead of the curve you are right now.
Bitcoin looks tired. All coins look hungry.
I'm just not quite sure that Bitcoin has any more solves.
I still think this thing is really worth a lot more than it is.
This stuff's spooky, man. These chaos PRZs are intense.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Solana is highly performant and has the team with the experience to support it.
$4,800 Ethereum. That's a big, big move here.
Whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome back, guys. Let's get some tunes on today. Feeling it. Sorry about the last minute change in plans. I know usually we go at 3, but it's a new year and we haven't actually streamed yet this year. So maybe 2022 is the year of random. That's my name, Random Task 555 on Twitter. If you add the @ before, it helps. That's RT. Good to see you guys. Good to have you back in here. If you made it on the last minute, I see old Smeatley up in the chat. Let's get into it, guys. There's some. Coach Papa says, hyped to hear this news. There is some big news for me. I picked something up today, or I'm picking something up today that's just ridiculous. I was almost like falling asleep, a little anxious about it. I was like, what the hell am I doing? I'm not it. That's not me. And then I was like, nah, YOLO, you only live once. And if I don't do it this year, I may never get to. So I'm gonna share that. Feeling chilly today. Like I made a couple changes early on this year that I think are gonna help me become a better trader. And so I'm gonna talk about them. It's gonna sound like an ad, but it's not a fucking ad. Hydration. You know, the lady breastfeeding wanted to get that pump up, and so we picked up these new water bottles. And I'm gotta say they're dope. They got this little light at the bottom. They're all Bluetooth connected, and they like ping you when you should be drinking water, and they track it on your phone. It's called Hydrate Spark. I feel like dropping that today because I think, aside from the show just being about, you know, helping everybody do well and make more money as traders and investors, whatever we want to do, just be our best selves. Hydrating is probably underrated. And if you're like me, you just forget to drink water because you're in the zone. So this thing flashes out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, oh, and then like last night I was like 500 milliliters below my daily goal, and I'm in bed and I'm like chugging water. Like I don't usually do that. And I think a week or two in, it's going to affect me in intangible ways. So I'm name dropping Hydrate Spark, whatever it is, .com. I don't know. But it's a really cool thing, and we're obsessed with them this week. And you can see like your friends on the app. So I'm like, honey, are you drinking your water? And we get after each other a little bit. And look, if you're telling me as a trader that that's not going to help me in ways that I can't quite quantify, I'd say you're a liar. So I'm dropping that today. I think it'll make me a better trader, and if you get value from it, great. Now, let's pull this up. How am I gonna get this on here? I picked up a new whip because, you know, we moved out to the burbs. I don't know how to open this though. Let's see. Can I drag it into Google somehow? Chrome? I don't know. I used to be able to just drag photos in. I was doing it the other day. Let's see. No. How to pull it up. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys. It's, I didn't buy a Bugatti. No, hell no. But I didn't. As I know, LQDR, dude, trust me. Somebody told me about it like the other day. They're like, oh, I discovered this new flywheel. I was like, sick. Let's go check it out. And then I went and looked at the chart. Let's pull up the chart. Let's just do it. Let's get into it. Look at this thing. So, Mitch saying in the chat, sorry I didn't show you on this harder. Look, it's flying right now. This thing, it's the log chart. Look at Liquidator. Oh my God. So it's out of my zone, obviously, but there's gonna be some good stuff going on. Look, I got one today that I think, I have an investment in, so relax. I don't get investments because I'm a YouTuber. I'm not here to show you like my YouTube bags, but I do have one. I always want to start saying that. But this is one that I might add to. I'll admit I sold some of my investment, through this. I still have some vesting, coming along, but somebody showed me on it the other day, like they reminded me that, this is going to pay like income. So it's basically Fold, it's Manifold. If you guys are in the Discord, you saw me talking about it like last, whatever it was, July, like down through here. Open MEV is their first product. and it's basically going to be like sandwich protection on sushi. And somehow through doing all what they do, I don't know, MEV stuff, it's very technical, but they basically have a revenue from that, and it's going to be distributed to stakers, apparently in the form of ETH and USDC. I found that out yesterday. Maybe that's why this came. Maybe that was news yesterday. I don't know. But then I went and looked at the chart, and I was like, damn, that's a nice consolidation. It looks like it just broke out. This morning it was kind of down here, red candle, and I thought, fuck. So this is one to keep an eye on. I mean, if it gets another leg, and it's very low cap. Here's the interesting thing. Fully diluted, this thing's like 87 million. And I think it's like 50% circulating. So it's like a 40 mil cap, something like that. 87 mil fully diluted. Oh, before I go any further, how's the sound? Somebody told me last time, sound is good. And then I watched it after and I was like, damn, it was a little too loud. It's distracting. So if it is even remotely loud, guys, please let me know. Nothing worse than at the end of the stream checking it and then you're like, shit, that whole time it was just awfully distracting. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. I'm paranoid. Hey, PMA Bull Alex. Welcome, bro. TRI homie. Good to have you. And yes, you have a great Friday too. Sound is good. Okay, BMX confirms. So look, this looks like it might be good for a breakout to me. It's I actually had it up here last night. I was looking at it. Let's see, refresh. 41, 44. So it's up a little bit. I feel underexposed. Some of the guys that got into that round with me, like they still have their whole bags. They're talking about how it's, ooh, this and that. They even added down here, they were adding. So I feel underexposed in my group of friends. So I might pick some up. Don't go crazy on it. I'm not sitting here saying, it's gonna moon, but like whatever. I think not very liquid. You can see 34,000 slippage. So, if somebody wanted to come along and buy 100, 200K, like they're gonna move the price like 9%. It's very, in that sense, it's not very liquid, but I think I'm ready to add after all this consolidating. Probably a zone that I want to take a look at. So Fold is one today I wanted to talk about. I want to get this. I want to get the car up. I wanted to lead with some news. So, you know what I can do? I did that the other day. I think I can do this. Yeah, secret. Somebody just asked if I'm in it. Guys, I'm scattered today. I'm fired up. I was literally sitting here. I was like, and then they called. They're like, you got to come pick it up by 5. And I was like, oh shit, I got to move the stream up. So I'm just in the zone right now, like in a sort of manic way. So don't mind me. Let me get organized here. Let's figure this out. Yeah, Secret is flying up into the breakdown level, which is kind of what you'd expect if you get down into this reload zone. Oftentimes, markets will come up and check that breakdown level. And that really, there's two things here. It's like, ooh, we're in a bull market. We're just going to keep going. Or we just tap the sweet spot. So you have a nice 702 to 702 trade, one of my favorites. And then it's whatever. I don't think it'll come down that steep, but like, and then we get into the next little reload zone and the next one, and then we have that big fat consolidation. That could be what we're seeing develop here. You can see, almost can eyeball these things nowadays, like 702, 702. We would have like another one, just say it stopped here, went down there, and then this would be the next one. So we may see this kind of thing progress on Secret over the next few months and then into like a spring rally, a little Q2 rally. It's usually when we like to see altcoins do their crazy thing. That's old hat though. We gotta, it might be a new market now. The drag that Bitcoin has on the market, the pull, the dominance, basically just slipping every day. I feel like Bitcoin becomes less and less relevant every day, and that's a good thing. It's not like, ooh, I don't like Bitcoin. I fucking love Bitcoin. Bitcoin got me into crypto. Bitcoin is the holy faja. It's just not where I see the most upside for me, the way I trade. I actually hold almost none. I think I have some GLP, which is like GMX index on AVAX. That has some Bitcoin in it, but that's about it. It's down here. So like it's in a arguably a buy zone. I think it could, like we just saw with Secret, it's probably going to end up coming up and tagging this breakdown level at some point. Point is, it's got way less pull on the market these days, which is great news for everybody. You can see here, I think it could be trying to reverse here. Drop, bounce, come down, make a higher low, move up, break that midpoint, and we have ourselves a little reversal, and that's when we get to come up, maybe revisit this, at least maybe sweep these highs, whatever. So we'll see. But as usual, I'm more interested in altcoins, and a lot of them are running. They're looking really good. There's lots of opportunities. Let's see this car now. Let's see if I can do it. Copy paste right on the chart. Boom! Look at this fucking thing. Ooh. So bro, this time last year, I drove a Honda Civic. So this is exciting for me. This is a new thing. It's like I'm buying this one, so it's like I'm not leasing. I plan to own it, maybe do a few things to it, make it my little baby. It's the GT63S, secondhand, but it's like a 2021. It's 1 year old, 15K kilometers on it, whatever. It's a little sex biscuit. I'm fired up. It's probably too much car for me. You know, my brother, who's really into cars, you know, drives around like a little Subaru WRX or whatever it is, little beater. Nice little whip though, but you know, he's all pumped about, oh, you're thinking about buying a car, and then I bought this one. He's like, dude, like, be careful, don't be a fucking idiot. Like, so, and then somebody else is like, oh, it's gonna be hard to handle in the winter, so I'm a little scared. I'm gonna go pick it up. It's got winter tires on it. I gotta take it easy. I don't want to do anything stupid. But this thing, yeah, I'm pumped. So I think it's probably a little too much car, but it's like the last one I'll ever have to buy for a long time. You know, it's just gonna be my little beater. They asked me on insurance day, like, what's your commute to work each day? I'm like, I don't drive every day. I don't even drive that much, but yeah, maybe add some collector value to it if I don't put too many clicks on it. Just rip around to, you know, in and out of the city once in a while. But anyways, it's one of those things you can only consider doing once, maybe, for me anyways. So excited about that. Thank you guys, appreciate that. Let's talk Near. Yeah, okay, well, there's a huge raise going on apparently for Near, something like $450 million. That is a whisper. I don't know if it's a whisper, if it's public, but somebody mentioned it, and then a bunch of the guys in the chat were like, oh yeah, I heard about that, so I assume it's out there. But they're raising a massive amount of money right now, and then apparently there's talk of an ecosystem fund that's also being part of that, like 100 million. And so is that being priced in right now? Is that, you know, is that something that's gonna get announced and then it's gonna rally after? I feel like with the number of people just instantly who knew what the hell was going on the other day, like, I feel like it's probably getting priced in. But look at this thing, man. Near is quietly doing crazy shit. I'll be honest, I don't know why, if it's just because of the weird name, sounds so basic, or it's just because I've been busy and I'm just not that into like reading into things. I haven't even gone to their website. I haven't done anything. I haven't looked beyond the name. Maybe we should do that now. What the hell are they doing? Simple, secure, scalable technology. I mean, yeah, they all sound the same to me at this point. Those L1s. Scaled, scalable, secure, decentralized, right? It's hard to say what's different about them. NFTs, okay, DAOs, DeFi, like, looks dope. Looks dope. This is not the extent of my due diligence I would do. I was like, looks dope, I'm in. But that's probably what we have time for on the stream. I don't like to go too far into like the website type stuff, because reading while you're on stream is very unengaging. But anyways, yeah, Near looks very strong. I think if we wanted to be Chaos PRZ traders, we probably want to grab this consolidation, see where we're at. We might actually be close to this one. No, but it's coming up. So this is an area where I definitely want to be lightening my bag if I've just ridden the lightning up there, so to speak. And I wonder if we can get some confluence, maybe like a smaller one since then, maybe right here. Yeah, there we go. So we're getting some lineups here. And then you can just grab a little box and say, look, a couple Chaos PRZs agree that in this area, I can expect to see chaos enter the market, AKA selling, AKA take it profers, profit takers. So take it profers, Frog Nation, let's go. I think that's it. I think that would be it for me, like a trade anyways. It's a shame because there's definitely been some trades in here. I think most recently just on this dip, you know, get that nice, like when you're in a strong bullish trend and you're like me and you like to wait for the big dips and the RLZs, and, you know, Secret was obviously presenting that kind of thing. But then you get into an uptrend and you got to change your tune, right? You can try to PCZ, say, oh, look, we got a pump, we got this low here. I'm going to take this high. I'm going to drag it back. Oh, tags. Oh, fractally nature of markets is so fun. Like, look at this. We got this nice throwback lines up perfectly with the 382, like within a pip. Both of them get tagged beautifully and then we're off. It's got my kind of trade written all over it, but I wasn't looking and, you know, can't catch them all. But that's the kind of thing, right? And then he's like, okay, well, it's at new highs right now. It's blasting into price discovery, very strong. But there's no trade here for me. There might be an investment if I say I'm going to hold it for a year. Cool, buy it wherever you want. Doesn't matter. Huge time frame, 3 years, whatever. But next time I want to buy, I probably have to just follow it up with something like this, wherever this ends. You know, maybe even over the weekend, bearish Monday open, whatever we get. If we get something like that, maybe it's like, and then, you know, like any of these kinds of things, I need that kind of stuff in my life. I'm done with chasing new all-time highs. Except for I lied. I did that yesterday on one coin, just because I want some, and I think it might be an incoomer. But I also didn't buy much. I have to size down significantly, but I picked some up at like, God, it was ugly. It sucks because somebody was telling me about it here. Somebody told me about it back here in the low 20s. I ended up picking some up at 27. But I have no illusions that that's a good entry. Like I think that'll be underwater in the next few weeks, and I'll pick some more up. Like then I can get some more size on the throwback. Boris asked, is that the same one like Messi has? Because he did pick up a 63S. No, GT63. So I didn't even realize that. Like he showed me a sick one, you know, whatever he bought it last year, new car. And just for context, we're talking about this guy. And he picked up one last year, and I remember thinking like, that's sick. I don't know, there's like 1,000 types of Mercedes. I didn't really make the connection. And then I shared this with him yesterday. I said, dude, look what I grabbed. He's like, you fucker. Had to add the S on the end. So it turns out I might actually have one-upped him unintentionally, because I think he has the 63, the GT63, and I got the S. So whatever that means. Slightly faster, a little more torque, a little more something, a little more juice. So ha. But yes, I think I got an S up on him. So that's fun. Fun little bit of banter right there. But yeah, so it is very much like the one he has. I actually forgot. I didn't actually know the model he had. I just remember hearing the engine going, holy fuck, dude. So we'll see. If I survive the drive home today, I'm in good shape. It's like winter. It's got winter tires, but I just got to remember not to like floor it like I would my old Honda Civic, because you could just floor that thing and you're just like catching up to traffic. This thing is probably going to be a bit of a different. Yeah, take it proffers. It's my new word of the day. Dropping below 200-day moving average and testing and getting rejected. I think we're going much lower. Yeah, Crypto Bunker says, how do you feel about the ETH? Look, if you asked me, you want to know how I feel about ETH? Let me tell you about how I feel about ETH. I think it's not out of the question. ETH Bear Inc. I saved this one because I just want to test myself next year. This isn't like an official prediction, you know. I'm like, I think this will happen. But I had, oh no. Oh, I'm so dumb. I deleted it. I saved one bit. Ah, shit. That's annoying. This friggin' thing had one purpose. That was to save this piece of ink. But it was basically like this and back up to bearish retest and then just a big puke that ended here and then bounced up and then made a higher low and then fucking chill and then took off like into next year. That's annoying. Well, basically the reasoning was it was like 702, and that's not unusual for any kind of market to clean itself up. Right? And we like, if you're sitting here saying, we haven't had a bull market, we've had a crazy bull market for 2 years. Look at ETH. I still remember it was sitting around 350, 400, and coming out of the previous bear market, I was like, oh man, I better take some profit. This thing used to be $80. And I sold some ETH here, and I bought and I sold. I don't know. I never had like a bag that I just held. I did a lot of trading of ETH, but I mean, this is crazy. So if it needs to clean itself up, sweep these lows, really shit everyone's pants this year sometime, I don't know when, I wouldn't be shocked. So, part of what I want to do this year, what I really want, is to set up like an income portfolio. So, yield positions, Joe LP farm, some curve positions like Curve 3 pool, try Crypto 2, which has some ETH and Bitcoin exposure. So I don't feel like I'm out of the market, but it's muted and it's not my biggest position. I've got some on Nexo, like a little 8% on stablecoins. That's my most conservative position. And I want to set that up and just chill and like maybe claim monthly, save my accountants a little work. Because I think I may be my accountant this year. I might just decide to go for it and track it and save the money. Because if I can trade less and then focus my trading on some smaller part of my portfolio that's more active and it's on like an exchange where I can do longs and shorts. So I was thinking about this a lot last night in journaling about it, whatever, trade journal mentally anyways. And that's my plan. And so if I can have like a low maintenance income portfolio, which fairly conservative, stablecoin heavy. I would consider like a stable, like an AVAX USDT LP on Joe. That to me would be like medium risk, right? You're some directionality, but it's not crazy. And then something like ICE AVAX LP would be like high risk. And that's like where you're just going to get rinsed if the market goes down. But then look, you hold it. I stake, I get my rewards throughout whatever bear we have. And do I think AVAX and ICE will make new highs someday? Sure. And I'm farming the whole way through. So IL is very much impermanent, but I have to size that so that I don't feel like selling at any time through any kind of bear we have. So yeah, that's how I feel. And that way, the majority of my positions are like low maintenance. I don't really have to touch them. I can skim a certain amount every month in rewards and just sell them, whatever, cash them out, throw them in my trade account. And then on my trade account on, say, FTX, I can focus on more intense trading, not even day trading, but maybe more swing trading, a couple perps, short hedge some of those spot positions, whatever. That's the dream for me this year. And there's another part of that, because for tax purposes, it's very easy to grab like a FTX CSV. Well, actually, they come in chunks and they only do so much. But point is, once you get them, it's much easier to crunch them automated, like with coin tracking or token tax. And then that way I don't have to spend a whole fucking arm and a leg and 6 months worrying about taxes. I can just process that, manually do all my monthly claims on the income finance, and then have a nice year. And of course, do some positioning on new coins. If I catch like wind of something, I'll throw some money on chain and from FTX and get it. So I don't know if that's a big long rant, but that's where I'm at right now. That's Foo Bear's predicting 5 speeding tickets in the next year. I hope not, dude. They're so expensive. Yeah, I know. He says that happened to me when I moved up from a 4-cylinder half ton to a V8 at 1 ton. Yeah, we'll see, dude. It's, yeah, I was talking about FTT. Actually, I tweeted about it this morning. Boris, for the record. Hey, August. Good to have you, man. Bearish ETH charts at your least in your last stream. The bearish ETH charts at least in your last. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. The bearish ETH chart is in my last stream. Level-wise, it was more important than when. Although it is fun when price actually follows it. I don't want this to happen. Let's be clear. But I guess if anything, I would ask people, are you prepared for this? How would this make you feel? Would you lose money if this happened? Not unrealized gains, but like, would you be selling shit you bought now at a loss? Like, have a plan. Because this is honestly the more probable outcome to me than something like, oh yeah, it was just a dip, and then it's like, ooh, and then, and then we're just like off to new highs. This is possible too. This, very possible. Slightly less probable to me, especially for ETH. I think ETH dominance can just share the goddamn pie for a stack, like things like Near, bunch of others. And that's the cool thing too. Like there's L1s out there that haven't even hit, front page. They're probably going to get some nice ups. And a lot of that liquidity maybe is coming from outside in, more money in crypto, which we can track loosely with something like, let's see. Oh, I'm getting a call. Who's calling me? They need to back off. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, I just got a call in Discord. Okay, turn that up. Total 2. Where was I? Oh yeah. So some of that L1 juice might be coming like new money into the market, and then we'll see this rise up, total market cap increasing. But I think a lot of it's going to be sloshing around. Could be Bitcoin, could be ETH, could be some other bigger L1s, like could be anything that are just going to move into, rotate into things like Near, even Cello. Cello's one that kind of popped up. Danny even said I liked Cello, whatever. I don't know if he said that on Twitter or whatever, or on our stream, but he's like, yeah, I like Cello. Like they're doing cool things. I don't know what this is, but it's an L1. It announced one of those, what do you call it? DeFi incentive funds or whatever. And the rush, avalanche rush, what the hell? I'm missing the word, but they announced one of those back here and they're just chilling. So maybe this one could be the next rotation. I think if it gets above this level, I have an alert set. Yeah, it says hunt the retest, 569. So if we get above that, I'm going to have a bag of this. Point being, we could have an opportunity this year to make money. I think it will be less easy mode. Not that 2021 was super easy. I mean, there was really rough spots. September sucked. The spring was really tough on people, myself included. It was not easy mode, but there was definitely some easy moments, right? Or just happened to position ourselves for them. I think a lot of people got in on the AVAX Eco rally. Wonderland for a while felt like free money. It was just raining from the sky, buying into that, and then getting those rebases. Like there was definitely some nice moments. But looking ahead to 2022, even 2023, I don't know that we're going to have as easy a time. I think it's going to have to be a lot more selective. It may not be up only. And, for what it's worth, log. I always switch back and forth now on my trend lines just to see what you end up with. Yeah, this one looks cooler. So, yeah, we'll see. Look, I'm happy, very happy, if I'm just wrong, right? And if what we get is this on Bitcoin, where we're basically, I think I wrote this up the other day, just like while Messi and Rob were talking. But maybe we just get this like rising wedge thing going here, and we just kind of consolidate, have a quiet year, but it's not that bad. It's not that bearish. I think Bitcoin will be hard to trade this year if you're like sitting there on lower time frames and trying to play the chop. Don't know if it'll be a big strong trend, but came in, touched this, made this trend line. So I wouldn't say we tagged it. It exists because of this tag, but tagged the sweet spot, right? Up, draw a reload zone right into the 702. Kind of say that maybe there was a range here. Traded to the lower half of the range, stuck below it for a few days, back inside, retesting. So yeah, do we chill here, work our way up to EQ? That makes sense. How does that look across the market? Do we end up at range highs, sweep those? I think we're just going to pull some of the volatility out of the market now for a little bit, which on the high time frames will look like that. On the low time frames, it'll still be pretty volatile. And it could end up being something like this, where we were, it looks obvious now, right? It looks so easy in retrospect. But back here, I remember it was just weeks of guessing. We just had these like ranges forming and doing all this range trading. So I think we're probably there for a little bit. It's just a matter of how much of this bleed part we get. I wouldn't be shocked if we have another leg down. It is what it is. 702, 786. Really, anything above this 88.6 is go time. It's part of a bull market. Up, down, up, higher, low, up. Can't complain. Doesn't feel like it, but it is. Things that I would be finding high risk are like the lower cap, lower liquidity, higher risk, smaller communities, new coins. Those are very high risk. They do very well in a full-blown greed market. They do very poorly in a fear-based market. You tend to get like a consolidation towards strength. So I'm being as cautious as I can with new investments and, buying into those lower cap stuffs. I know I mentioned Fold earlier. This one's been around for a little bit, and they might actually have product launch coming here soon where we end up finding out that, hey, based on if they make this much revenue, you get that much daily per one Fold staked. And if those numbers are hot, that might be what the speculation is here. We'll see. But that's one that I'm making an exception on. Just because the FDV, I really like the FDV here. I'm shilling myself into buying more. I already have a small bag, nothing too crazy. But if you look at it, it's 2 million coins total. So that's usually you see 2 million a coin, you get a higher priced coin. This is to match any kind of market cap. Half of those, just under half of those are circulating. So fully diluted, it's under 100 million. That's pretty dope. Whereas you have these Solana based projects, not shitting on Solana, but they have a lot of these projects that are let's even say maps. I was shitting on maps the other day. I think it's going to have a really bad year. But look, 10 billion total supply. And there's only 75 million circulating. Look at the potential dilution there. It's absurd. And you see a lot of this in the Solana projects this year. Let's see. Oxy. So Oxy, same kind of thing. A little better. 200 million though circulating. 10 billion total. Fully diluted 5.3 billion. What do you even do, bro? I don't even know what your product does. Probably could if I learned, but it's not the point of the show right now. So my point being, I like that about Fold, that it's you can see it, it's all kind of already out there, and even if it just all the rest of the circulating supply got dumped tomorrow, it's still an 84 million market cap. That's pretty decent. You don't find that too often. But then alternatively, look at Oxy. I was charting it yesterday. Don't touch this thing. I'm not touching this thing with a 10-foot pole. It slides in here. Yes, in the summer I did DCA into here a little bit. because I saw some bullish divergence and the whole market looked like it was bottoming, and I picked up some Sol plays, and then, oh, it was a fun trade, get out. But this just looks like, especially with what the numbers we just looked at, this is just a big fat downtrend. And if you ask somebody that was in the IEO on FTX, or they were in the pre-sale or whatever, they'll tell you, they'll be like, oh yeah, like these tokens I bought, what were they? I don't even know, 12 cents, 1 cent? Something like they're still way, way up. And so every time they get unlocked, there's going to be selling most likely. It's tricky and it sucks because like a breakdown here was, you can short this. Would have been a sick short. I'm kind of kicking myself. Like fundamentally, it was such an easy thing to think like, oh, I'll just short. But there hasn't been a good setup in a while, and I'm not shorting it down here. Maps, very similar chart. You know, you're just gonna get these huge, unrelenting downswings. And then do you see any evidence of buyers here? Do you see any big buys? Like here, you could say, oh yeah, like there was buyers stepping in, maybe a continuation trade, A, B, C, D. In fact, that's exactly what we had from the looks of it, where you have that first initial move up. And then you say, oh, maybe there's a continuation trade. And then you take that and you mirror it. So from the low that comes after, and you say, okay, I'm going to trade it up, make that A, B, C, D harmonic. And you get out up here. Not bad. Sick trade. We may get that along the way in a downtrend, but for now, this thing just broke all-time lows, and like we just saw, 75 million circulating out of 10 billion. That's ridiculous. So way too much supply looming for maps for me. So I wanted to get that out there. I think there's a lot of that going on in Solana right now, where they're just these like seed rounds are making a killing, but like ultimately there's just these like 2, 3, 4, 5 year vests. You know, Serum obviously famous for that, having a huge fully diluted. Let's go see Serum. You know, 10 billion, only 133 million circulating. Total supply, max supply. I don't know what the hell that means. Total max, maybe there's gonna be more later, but 31 billion. Hey, we had some good Serum trades. You know, I lost some money this year on Serum, last year I should say. Trying to trade it up from this level right here. I got rinsed, I got the fuck out, and that's why, right? That's why I'm a trader, not an investor, because I can spot with fairly basic TA. I mean, we can spot like, oh, here's a level, here's a level, here's a level, here's a level. Oh fuck, we lost that level. Get the fuck out. We're in a downtrend and we just lost a key level. And if I'm like, oh, I'm just going to be a holder, well, that's a bunch of capital that I now don't have access to until this is back above, you know, that's crazy. So trying to get the hell out. 51% drawdown since my invalidation. Thank God I'm not sitting in that trade. And that's where you just want to have small losses. I don't mind taking a loss, just don't let it be a big fat loss. I picked it up on this breakout, on this retest, in this thing, and then I had to cut it all here. Eat shit. It happens. That's the way she goes. What up, fam? Winner in trading. Missed the alert. Not going to make it. Yeah, it's okay, dude. I surprised the shit out of everybody, even myself. Got out of the shower. I was like, I better just go live. We'll do it live. Nasty looking head and shoulders if you're into that, Foo Bear. Get commit sell. If you see activity, it's an indicator to sell a pump. Okay. Check. Get commits about cello if you see. Okay, cool. Yeah, I like that. Sound balance between music and voice is great, bro. Thank you, David. Appreciate the little reminder there, because I can't hear how it all mixes. I don't have the monitor on. I'm telling y'all, check out PTP, Platypus Finance on AVAX, giving Curve a run. Okay, that's a big statement, sir. Get to the bottom of this. Oh, fuck, dude, why you gotta show me on it like that? Can't buy that. I mean, maybe there's more to it. And I talked to somebody, they say, well, you know, look a little further, RT. Maybe there's maybe there's more to the story. Maybe there's a valuation where you actually like, this is still cheap. It's a 4 million market cap. Get the hell in. But I look at this and I'm like, God damn. Sick chart though. Sick pump today. I don't know if I can race into that. At the very least, when it's like a new project, especially on AVAX, because unfortunately they did get into sort of a rug pull season there for a little bit with like kind of like BSC did. I need to know a few things. You know, if I want to ape some size in, especially at a high like that, I need to like see, can I figure out who the devs are? You know, do I know anyone who knows them? And does the AVAX Labs team, you know, have anything to say about them? Say, hey, yeah, we know those guys. They're okay. I don't know anything about this one. So I would be cautious. Obviously, that's me. But yeah, can I get a pullback? This thing looks like the cat's out of the bag to some degree. Very nice push today. Very nice. Love to see that. And so this is my point, right? There's going to be opportunities in this market this year. It's just not the thing where I want to like, oh, I'll buy a bunch of ETH, buy a bunch of Bitcoin, and I'm going to get rich and sit still. Like, I think the game is on this year. You know, it's going to take some focus, discipline, and I'm not going to sit underwater in bags. I'm going to be like tight in validations, try to really grab pullbacks. You know, certainly not feeling like I need to chase the market. There's so much fear still baked into this thing, still sitting at 21 extreme fear, which usually means you're not going to rotate into like full-blown bull right away. It takes some time. I'll show you an example of that. Let's use Solana. Well, oh, fine. Let's use Solana. I was gonna say Solana actually did kind of just go full-blown, but you know, for example, Solana, extreme fear. Chop, 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 chop for months until finally it broke out. There was a pretty clear trend line breakout, rising volume. If you zoom in, there was some subtle volume, you know, breakouts here where you could say the bulls were getting back in control. And I don't know, somewhere I did talk about, oh, I'm going to pick up some Solana. I think it was in like the $40 area. I had no idea it was going to run this fucking hard. I don't think most people did, but at least not that quickly. They said they knew, they're lying or they're cheating. But either way, you know, it took time from extreme fear first entering the market until it was time to go back into extreme greed. It took months. And so I'm not worried too much about racing after the things that are rallying each day as much as positioning myself on dips like SUSHI. SUSHI is one that I'm weirdly attracted to. It's going to get a little weird. Mostly because it's like kind of a new Danny coin. It's in his wheelhouse. He's talked a lot about some of the stuff they have planned for it. I have faith that they will deliver some really cool things. Yeah, I think mentally pivoting from we're going to compete with Uniswap to we're going to compete with Binance. That was a big one for me. I love that narrative. It's at trendline resistance. I did, you know, I got my fills on all these little circles. Small, medium, large. And I'm in that bag now. It's still trending down though. You know, it's unfortunate. I think on a log chart, this is how I initially thought, okay, like this was the day he did the AMA and I just tweeted out, I said like, hell no, this is not a buy. It's like, it's just doubled in the last 10 days. Let's let it cool off. Here's a reload zone. Let's fill up. I feel pretty good here. It's just chop, chop, chop. If you look too closely, it sounds stressful, but zooming out, it's just a zone. That's like, you know, so I think, obviously below here, I gotta get the fuck out. That sucks. It's a huge loss. But I would have to get the fuck out. Probably. Maybe even before that. I don't know. But for now, bring it in here. We're just off the log resistance. We get a trend line. It's looking like a little different. Now here's a good example of why I like to wait for W's on the other side of trend lines. With the exception right now of SUSHI, clearly. But maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm going to find out the hard way why that rule exists. Shout out to TRI, rationalinvestor.com. Their new term starts in like 24 hours, 48 hours. If you're like, hey, new year, new me, I want to do something big this year. I want to get good. Fucking sign up, bro. That's where I learned everything. I was a trader and I was a shooter. I was a gambler and I was flying around the market for 2 years. And then I signed up for that in September 2018, right before the big drop in Bitcoin. And the first thing they told me in the course was like, take your money, put it in cash, shut the fuck up and learn how to trade. Like less rudely, but that was essentially the message. Was like, we can't tell you what to do, but by the end of this course, you will know what you're doing and you will have a trade plan. And at the very least, if you lose money, it'll be part of a plan. I didn't listen. As an altcoin trader who had done fairly well, even though I was getting wrecked in the bear, I decided, oh, I'm a trader. I'm going to do what I want. No, I'm not one of the noobs they're talking to. So I sat entirely in Bitcoin. In October 2018, Bitcoin dropped from 6K to 3,200 in like 4 days. And I got totally wrecked. I was so emotionally wrecked. And that was the hardest lesson I've ever learned in the market. Thinking I was so sharp, feeling so depressed about it. And then didn't have the wherewithal to go and buy the bottoms that the guys, this is the dip. This is me joining TRI, thinking I'm a champ, sitting in Bitcoin, thinking this is the bottom. And then it just rinsed. It go boom. That was the capitulation. And TRI guys, as I learned through that term, they were sitting here. They saw this bullish divergence here. They saw the sell volume dying. And they bounced up and they were all buying here. The lounge was just full of guys picking up Bitcoin here saying, hey, look, we're going to take a shot against these lows. Oh, fuck, man. They bought the bottom. So I like to talk about them because they changed my life. those founders, the guys that teach it, Brian Beamish, blah, blah, blah. So there's my shill for today on them big time, because the term starts in 2 days, and then if you don't join it, you can't join until May. So I'll never stop talking about things that I think are high valuable or high quality. So I don't directly get any ref links. Like if I directly ref link my cousin, I get $100. But for a mention like this, I don't get anything. I think it's important for people to learn shit. So that's my story about TRI. And because they're starting tomorrow, I felt like I would have a little rant on them today. I forget where I was before. Oh yeah, so the rule that I learned there, let's use one example of one of my favorite rules Brian always talks about. You gotta draw your trend line. Arguably this is not even correctly drawn. You gotta go like peak to peak, but this is an anomaly. It's weird. I'm ignoring it and going to the next one. Otherwise your trend line would be like ridiculous and basically invalid. But his golden rule is don't think like this does not count as a broken downtrend, because it's not. It's just like noise, right? It's just, downtrends can play through. And so what you want is a W in price on the other side of the trend line. That's like, hey, we're on this side of the playing field now and we're bullish. We have confirmed bullish market structure. Now, Sushi's a great example of that, because if you bought on the breakouts, fake out, wrecked. Even this one, we broke up, couldn't make a new higher high, just made a higher, lower high, and then just broke down and then shit the bed. A lot of money saved, not getting in. Now, I did actually buy here thinking it would break out. I did get in there and I ended up getting stopped at a break even. So a little bit more of an advanced approach there, saying, I know the rule, but I'm going to just fucking front run it because this thing looked like a really nice squeeze and I wanted to buy it. Thought it was a champ, it broke out, got shit on, break even, whatever. And then through the Danny thing, again, from this trend line without the log, you can see it just, it faked out again. So we're under it. So maybe I'm dumb. Maybe we break lower here. But with the takeover, there's a fundamental reason. I like Sushi this year. And then if you put it on log, of course, which I think personally for trend lines, I think is a little more appropriate, log chart. We're still in the downtrend, so nothing's changed, but at least we're not resting right up against it. We're in a reload zone after a nice volume breakout, and it's a slightly different look. I don't know. I don't have to cope and justify why I bought Sushi. I just bought it. Got a nice position. It's basically break even right now. And we'll see, see how we do through this and if we can break out. Oh my God. And if we do, looking back, it'll be really obvious, right? It'll be like, Danny announces takeover of Sushi, not takeover, but joining in as advisor, whatever, helping lead, nice little rally, dip into the reload zone, and then we take off, big fat W on the other side of the trend line, and suddenly it's like, oh my God, how did I not see that Sushi reversal or continuation? So I like it. It's enough about Sushi. Tetranode Shell Tribe. Yeah, I don't know. FXS. I actually didn't see the whole Tetranode episode. I know a lot of people are talking about it today. Guy has crushed it. I thought it was really cool. He talked about where he had come from. It's always nice to see guys that are that successful with that kind of wallet size, whatever, and like find out that they came from very little. It's inspiring, and it makes me get fired up and really appreciate them even more. Instead of, like nobody likes the guy who's like, oh, it's a trust fund, baby. I was born with $5 million and now I have 100. It's like, oh, cool, man. It's not relatable. I think his story is cool. I saw that much. I think I saw half the episode this morning. Maybe I'll listen to it on the way down to the car today, but pretty cool. 100x overtake Polkadot integrated with Near and Cosmos. Check out OCT. Yeah, somebody mentioned OCT in the pit the other day. Maybe I should start. Is that Octo? Octocoin? Probably not. There's a lot of weird shit on there. Let's go see OCT. What is it? App chains, which could better than... Tell me which one OCT is, and I will look at it. There's a bunch of them. I've been in stables for months, and okay, Sir Phytone. Yeah, it is a bit of a stable coin. The best kind usually just goes up. Sushi, how do you access multi for $7 instead of $27? Oh, interesting. Fubear, tell me more about that, because I want multi. I'm buying any. You're saying Sushi is how you access multi for $7 instead of $27. Is there like an airdrop? Yeah, MH, I know, dude. It's painful. Sometimes you got to relive painful memories, which was the Bitcoin drop in 2018, dude. This was my soul crusher. Especially after this, right? It's like, ooh, it's a bear market. It's finally almost over. 6K support, never going to break. Dude, now I'm like, of course it was going to break. don't get out of a bear market until you have the final capitulation. Oh my God, I wish I knew. I feel your pain, dude. I was there. Oh, yeah, Nady O'Lantern. It's therationalinvestor.com. Again, I have no problem like shilling things that I think are genuinely fucking outstanding. So, sue me. Looks like a bullish cart to me. WNCG. Yeah, wrapped NCG. I had a package. I had a bag of that last year. I think I got rid of it. Like the stream, guys. Give the man some love. Jedi Hornet, thank you. Yeah, let's hit the likes, guys, if you're appreciating the stream today. Am I in? Yeah, man. I look up, I see a warning on YouTube. I'm like, God damn it. Octopus Network. Okay, let's go take a look, guys. Octopus, not that one. Nice try, FBI. Octopus Network, boom. It's going to be up. Yeah, see, I knew it. I hate this. Like, I love it, guys. I love when you bring some good shit to the stream, and like, I'm probably dumb, and you already got a bag, and then it's like, ooh, we come back a month later. It's like, I told you about Octopus back in January, and it's like $24 in March, but I can't get into these, and you know, these are the kinds of things, and I know the buzz, and it grows, and the market, and it grows, and the FOMO grows, and then it peaks, and then it just does what pretty much every coin we ever look at will eventually do, which is just clean up. And then guys like me who got sucked into maybe like, if I was to buy here, then I'd be a guy like that, and then whatever, and then, you know, and then for a month, like nobody gives a shit anymore, and there's like some new coin, and then all the same people that build into these, they change narratives, and and then we get the little, and then, you know, and then 4 months later, when no one gives a shit about Octopus coin, it's down here, and I want to be a buyer, but I can't be a buyer here if I'm a buyer here. If I'm a buyer up here and we end up down here, I'm probably a seller. Not because I'm stupid, but that's the psychology. That's how that goes. I'll give you a really good example of that. Butterfly. Let's talk about Butterfly. Pretty fucking standard launch in the sense of like, ooh, we have a nice hype launch. All right, everyone's like, ooh, Butterfly, yeah, CVX, CRV, all these things. Dumps in here. Suddenly the FUD is like that guy who owns like $79 million worth of this shit, could nuke it anytime he wants. Question is like, why would he want to? But then again, I don't like it either when one guy has his finger on the trigger. If you were a buyer up through here, this is where you freak out. You go, I'm dumb. If you took this more patient approach, you can be a real big buyer down here. You can say, fuck that. Even if this guy does nuke it, at least I'm getting in a good price. So I noticed this recently, and I had a bag through this, staking in profit, even after the dump, in profit. But I was compelled to take that profit, leave myself a free position, because I started to read into it, and I was like, maybe it is a scam. I don't know. Ohm was making all-time lows. You know, time in a downtrend, even though Wrap Memo is showing us the real path, which is that with the rebases, the total value is going up, which I love. Paper falling off my desk one at a time, very slowly. So that's a good example, which I just remembered from yesterday, of like this phenomenon. So the question is OCT ever going to hit a 618? And if I'm in it for the long run because it's the future and blah, then does it matter when I get in, as long as I make sure I'm getting in no higher in a range than in the 618, maybe even a 702, maybe even an 80, you know? That's the way I see markets now. That's how I think. So when someone tells me about a coin, it's like, oh, that's really, really good. And then I just go look and I say, okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes into a zone that I can fuck with, I will buy it. And this is not the season to, you know, this is not the time for that kind of trader, somebody like me, who doesn't really care what coin they get in, as long as it's at a low, you know, like as long as it's a good place to buy and then a better place to sell. Don't really care specifically about each coin. You know, we got lower volume on this push up. Maybe we have some divergence on the indicators. Yeah, you got a little bit. Yeah, actually we do. So is this near the end of the move? And is that why, you know, it's coming up a lot on stream today? Sounds like it. And why, you know, I hate to say it, guys, sometimes the trading pit, sometimes there's some really sharp early ideas in there. Shout out to Jedi Hornet and a few of you guys. I wish I could name more names, but you guys have some really quality ideas in there. But when I see it, like all the buzz in there for weeks, it's like toppy things. Sad to say. And that's not just the trading pit, like chats in general. You see it in a lot of chats. You say, oh, like everyone's buzzing about something. And sometimes it's not, and then it just keeps running, and people who bought in weeks late on a 500% gain still get to have another 2, 3, 4x. Sometimes that happens, but oftentimes when it's really saturated in those chats, I find that's like a signal that just makes me nervous. Certainly not a buy signal, but yeah, a little bit of divergence in this last move up, lower volume. So I'm not too thrilled about the idea of picking up OCT here at all. But that also means I don't really get to buy any until like March or April at best. And that's if I get down into here. And if that day comes, we get back on stream. So I was like, hey, fuck boy. That's, that coin fell into your stupid zone and I lost money. Like, okay, well, hey, let's go get greedy down here. When everyone's like, OCT was a scam after all. And we're like, haha, perfect. Let's buy it. I like to buy the scams when they're right in the dips. And I say that like endearingly, right? Everything's a scam once a bunch of people have lost money, but that's usually where, if there's still value there, you can get a nice deal. God, heavy rant today. Uniswap. Can't get into OCT, but brought Uniswap rally, huh? Yeah, all total war. That's totally it. It is a conviction issue too. The other thing is like, I don't know anything about this, right? So it's an easy pass for me. It's like, oh, it doesn't fit my plan, cool. But yeah, absolutely. When when Messi and some other guys that I know, smart guys, and we're all, we're chatting, and I'm like, oh damn, and they're all super bullish on Multi and Uniswap and Andre and showing me like the TVL and the volume on Uniswap, and then there's talk of like fee share maybe. Yeah, like I get super bullish now. But I picked up like a really small bag, like very little. So I don't get to take any size. I'm not sweating. This thing could drop 80% tomorrow, and I'm just excited. I'm like, nice, now I can actually buy some. So when I say like I bought this thing at all-time highs, like yeah, I probably put 0.001% of my portfolio into it, like something, a boring amount, just enough to be like, oh, I bought some, I'm cool. So can I get here? Can I get a new range kind of reload zone up here? Yeah, look at that, sweet spot. Bing. $20 Uniswap. Can I get some? Maybe. That's the kind of place where I can take a little more size. And then this is where I have to lose. Cut it. 25% loss. Boom. Then I have a trade. Xmon. Yeah, let's take a look at Xmon. Pasta online talked about, sell me all the Xmon you want. Fuck off. So I like him. Sharp DeFi guy. RPDX. I know. Jedi Hornet called out DPX in the chat way back in August, and I'm scum because it's up 100x and I didn't buy any. And it wasn't even like I looked at the chart and was like, no, blah, blah, blah. I just was not in the zone for picking up things I saw in chats in August. But this is where you mentioned it, you sick son of a bitch. And what's cool? It did the thing back here too. It just did the thing. Same as we just saw with Butterfly, right? Is this going to be what the Butterfly chart looks like in a year? I don't know. But same thing. Comes out, hype, hype, hype. Don't chase it. Blah, blah. Sweet spot! What are we talking about today, guys? Come on. These sick-ass RLZs. Get long in the RLZs. Doesn't matter how good it is. It usually almost always will come back. Wait patiently. And then boom. 100x. Oh my God. So, and it's making new highs again. God damn it. So yeah, sick call from Jedi Hornet, spotting that in the pit and sharing it with everybody back in August. Gave us the perfect entry. Imagine the synergy, bro. If we had you calling out some really nice DeFi names and me then telling us, hey, let's get long in these RLZs, and then we all just got long in the RLZ and sing kumbaya and held our bags through this fucking savage dip. I don't know if I would have held through that. I probably would have taken profit and not been in it anymore, but there you go. Miss it? Oh no, I missed it. Get long in that reload zone. Boom. Feels good. Feels good when TA is simple and it works. Just, God, imagine you just made this one tool and you went from randomly doing things in the market to like saying, okay, I can only ever buy when something's here. Doesn't mean everything that goes here ends up going up. A lot of things go here and then they just get wrecked and fall through. But fuck, at least we'd have a plan. It'd be better than random. The only thing I love more than rants are the accents. I don't even notice the accents, for the record. They just pop up. A little bit silly. I had to really tone those down with the whole changing of the guard regarding like political correctness and stuff. I was a teacher for a while, so I get into a class, kids from all kinds of backgrounds in the class. I gotta be fucking careful. I'm not sitting there making some stupid accent that like makes one of them sad or some shit. So I cut them down a bit, but they sneak in once in a while. Similar project to Secret. Okay, Keep. I have bought, maybe I'm thinking of Keeper, but I definitely had Keeper DAO. Is it Keeper DAO? No, that's Rook. Keep Network. Yeah, I think I had Keep at one point. Oh yeah, Keep is the one that had the crazy volume coming in last year. Where was that? Yeah, it was it down here? Yeah. So we were looking at Keep last year, July, August. I think Messi and I like on stream, because you have to, like, this volume was so crazy that it makes this look like nothing. But if you go back, there was like, Keep's doing well. And I remember we talked about this on stream a few times, where it was just like, I didn't have the conviction to hold because I didn't look into the project too much. And, eventually you're just like, oh, cleaning up bag day. Oh, this one can go. But I know that's not the way you're supposed to do it, but I'm human. Anyways, huge key support here. Big, clear, evident uptick in volume. So like this was one of those ones where I was like, fuck, it's going to go. It hasn't gone too crazy yet, but it is going. And it looks like a slow and steady, which is actually a healthier way to go. Same thing. Oh, wait for the breakout. Give me that sweet spot. Boom. Imagine I just actually traded my plan on all the things. It's so rich. Now, we'll be all right. Life is good. Oh my God, Loveface dot whatever the fuck. Get out of here, man. Spamming the chat. Weirdo. I'm gonna tag you for spam. Fuck out of here. I love how I tag one message for spam. It doesn't automatically just remove the person. You spam once, you get out. Let's go one more report. Spam. Okay. What up, BK? Good to see you, brother. Xmon. Oh yeah. Okay, let's go see Xmon. So yeah, Keep looks good. I can't do the take on like what it is versus ETH, but the fact that you mentioned that it's like Secret and it's privacy, DeFi, whatever, if it's anything like that, I should have it in my bag, because my thesis on Secret is broader than, I think the project's dope, but my thesis is more like privacy layers as a fundamental layer to a platform. I think is going to be huge. Because what are we trying to do, right? Well, we're going to replace the financial system. We're going to be, better than banks. Well, they are all private. And the money that wants to be in here does not want everyone to see their balance every time they send somebody money. I send somebody $50. I don't want them to know if I have 1,000 or 10,000 or 1,000,000. I want them to not fucking worry about what I've got. Like, that's kind of how the banking system world works. So you tell me, what are people going to use? If the option was there for fast, secure, decentralized, ideally. I know Secret is not there yet. They can still roll back, but that's part of beta. That's part of early, right? And thank fuck too, because somebody hacked Secret Swap and they basically just rolled it back and said, fuck you, hacker. Like, I think that's okay. As long as you have good actors in charge and then eventually decentralize. Moving on. What are you going to use? You're coming into the space. You want to get involved. You don't really want to show your hand, tip your hand to everybody in the world, right? That's competitive advantage, corporate world. Probably going to opt for the one that lets you keep more of your information private. I think that's a natural progression to all of this stuff. So as cool as ETH is, and it has layer 2, Tornado Cash, and it has ways to work privacy into it, Secret Network, fundamental, foundational, everything is private by default. And if Keep is like that, I fucking need a bag, because I am so bullish on that narrative. And it hasn't taken off, weirdly, for a group of crypto people that are like, I can't take my money and I'm private. Bitcoin used to be anonymous. Now it's very clear it's not. Ethereum, not. So yeah, I think we're going to end up in a place where these privacy networks, not necessarily like private, Bitcoin private, like all this is like transfer value, but like smart contract platforms with privacy is going to be great. So yeah, if you're telling me, okay, Xmon, sorry, super distracted. It's 2:00. Oh, fuck, bro. Xmon is $67,000. What is going on here, dude? This looks a little more sane. That's a log chart now, logarithmic. It's all relative. I don't know. What do you do this? Well, we're not going to take that. Let's do this. Let's see if we can find like Like, I mean, that's an absurd chart. Very cool. But you can see it's starting to get heavy. Big dumpies down, eaten up, but it's heavier. It's heavier. There's going to be more sellers baked into this chart than there are buyers, right? When you see a chart bottomed out, you can say, I don't think there's very many sellers. There's probably only buyers left. And that's what happens. You run out of sellers, then the buyers come in. And then you go up here, you think, there's probably a fuckload more sellers. So those charts make me nervous. But hey, not to shit on your bag. Let's go see if we can find something valuable to say. Like, is there a chaos level? I think we're probably already past this chaos level, to be honest. Oh, yeah, a little bit. We can get rid of that. Fill. Throw a little horizontal on it and see if it even worked. Not really. Blasted right through it. It's fun when they just tag and retrace, but front ran it and then whatever. And we can put a few of these on. Sometimes one fits more than the other, blah, blah, blah. It's crazy how so many of them align, though. But ooh, now we're working. Oh, look, you can always find one that fits after the fact. Bing! Chaos. That pisses people off when you're like, it's so, so subjective, but you just have to pick one, right? Like before this price action, I could have come along and said, okay, I'm going to trade off this one. Okay, so I got out here. Or maybe I trade off this consolidation and say, okay, so I got out here. Well, short term, that worked. Or I trade off this consolidation and say, okay, so I'm getting out here. That one worked too. They all kind of work. I mean, they all hit. So anyone trading any of these made profit. But the person trading this one looks cooler, because that is a smack. And then I guess you could even drag this one, which just got front run. So we'll see. You know me, Xmon, not nearly anywhere close to a buy. But then you have to go, okay, well, what does it do? What is it valued at? If this somehow was like a 6 million market cap fully diluted, then maybe there's some upside, right? Who knows? Now I'm curious. What is it? Let's go see. Oh, yeah, no wonder. It's a high price coin. 10,000 of them ever. 10,000. Even Bitcoin, there's like 21 million. This thing, it's like a 10,000 mint. Fully diluted 723. So it's still sub 1 billion. So if it does some really cool shit, it's not unheard of to get a higher. Neural net generated pixel monsters. Ugh. OXMons are scarce digital collectibles that live on the Ethereum blockchain. Okay. They're inspired by a mix of Pokemon, SCP, and Lovecraft. Cool. So it's like an NFT, kind of Crypto Kitty maybe vibe. Yeah, maybe there's a game. They do some cool shit. You can rent them out, make a yield. I don't know. But that's a crazy chart. So congrats to anyone who made, not even 100x, but like a nice fatty X off these. If you were ballsy enough to buy the lows and crazy enough to sell the highs. Whoa. 210x? Yeah, like off the Pico lows. But very quickly that becomes 182. Yeah, I mean, even if you got into this like consolidation, you get 100x, that's dope. I'm not buying that 100x though. Less than 1,000 holders still, yeah. It's going to become pseudo swap. Yeah, and so like, yeah, see Dan, I was just gonna say that Dan's like, fuck man, you should look deeper because yeah. And that is sort of the Achilles heel of being live on stream. I know Messi liked to go on Shitcoin Church and he would just sit there quietly and hang out with you guys and do research. Not quietly, but you know what I mean? Like sit there and just chill and do research. A couple hours. I'm not good at that. I like to keep the ball rolling. I like to make sure that, there's narrative. And when I'm reading and researching, I get all like autistic and I put on my glasses. I'm like, and I just sit there for hours with like piano music on. So I can't do that on stream. But you know what, for you, Dan, I'm gonna write it down. Fuck, I dropped all my paper ones. Okay, I'm gonna write down Xmon because I do have sort of these deeper learning moments where I just go and actually do some research. You say look deeper. I say it's sub 1 billion and it looks hot. Maybe there's a 2x in there. Maybe there's even more. Maybe there's a passive income play. But it is hard on stream, so. Reminds me of Pmon. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, D. Josh. When I first heard the name, I was like, I don't think I know about one of those Pmon. Wait, how do you strip without clothing? Don't you need... Oh, okay, we're talking about that spam chat. I was like, what? Ice is playing Fib Pong in the reload zone. Yeah, let's take a look at Ice. Andre gave ICE a shout out, and that caused a little bit of price movement. I think sometimes you can attribute something directly to a tweet. Yesterday, arguably, this is a daily, so to zoom in, but you can kind of see somewhere through here yesterday, he tweeted basically saying, this is really dope, and this is probably my favorite Danny project, maybe the biggest sleeper, which I would agree with. And it's just doing its thing in a beautiful way, right? Bullish divergence, slowly dripping into that 88.6 bounce. So anything in here to me, now I'm biased because I have a big bag, but I picked up that bag at like 5, and then I added a bunch at 18, and then I sold 3% of it here, thinking I was really cool, and then I went to Lisbon and I got home and it was underwater, and I thought I'll just wait for a bounce and maybe make a trade down. There was no bounce. So I'm weirdly like even break even, but I feel heavily underwater on ICE because it was worth so much more. And I'm just holding. Because if someone, like right after this happened, I was like, oh no, how pissed am I going to be? Well, if someone asked me, is that going to be the all-time high forever? I would say almost certainly not. Like 98%, I don't feel like it will be. Mostly because it's not a big inflationary coin, right? If this happens early in a coin's life cycle and then you look and it's like maps and there's 75 million circulating out of 10 billion, you're like, fuck, dude, like there's just going to be billions of these coins. Like it's going to take so much to ever get back to those highs. And you see a lot of that with 2017 rallies, right? That's not the case here. Yeah, we can go look at ICE. It's not a scarce asset. I mean, I've heard Danny say that it is a scarcer asset. You know, it's like 24 million. That's not a whole lot. And there's about 50% of that circulating right now. Where is the rest? I have no idea. A lot of it is staking, so it's fairly illiquid in the sense of like how much is in the LPs and stuff, but I think it's getting more and more liquid. I think they're making an effort to add liquidity. And they haven't even started all the cool shit like leveraged PLPs, some other stuff. I don't know. I read a tweet about it and I put it on stream like a month ago, but there was a lot of stuff coming up. I'm a little sleepy though. Baby was up last night till friggin' 4 a.m. just constantly crying. Shout out to my lady because she did all the actual work getting out of bed to help him, but I laid in bed not fucking sleeping anyways. So we're a tired family today and I can't think straight, but I think ICE down here looks like a snack, especially when I see things like this, these breakouts in volume. Right, so you see this big nasty downtrend and it felt gross. And I was like, holy fuck, how does it drop 86% in like 3 weeks? That's insane. Who is selling? Devs, do something. But then you just see that sell volume just dry up. There's just nobody like down here that's like, oh, I need to sell. Sellers are gone. And then you see, boom, buyers wake up, boom, boom, boom. Andre tweet yesterday, boom. So we have a trend here of buy volume returning right where you would expect it to in the reload zone. And it's a great way to stay in shape. I haven't looked at Spell in a while. Let's take a quick look at Spell. Ooh, similar kind of vibes. Right? Big, strong downtrend. Buy volume steps in. Buy volume steps in. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. Look for these zones. There was a reload zone as well. Right, from the low to the high. Where's that big retrace? Right off the 786, 702. Each of them got like a bit of action. Back above the 702, and then no, now we're sitting in the 618. So this is getting really nice fib play, like bing, 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 bing. So I'm inclined to like think that this is probably a buy too. Full disclosure, I have a bag too, but anyways, yeah, big buy volume starting to roll in. I want to see the next big candle here be a buy, not a sell. This one, unfortunately, does have a strong emission cap or emissions table. Lots of DeFi rewards and incentives. But I think they're trying to trend that thing closer down to 0 for emissions. And I think there's some really cool changes coming up too that I'm not going to talk about because I don't know exactly what they are. Either way, guys, it's been a goddamn pleasure today. We're going to head back to the studio real quick. I've got to go down to the city to pick up this new whip that is definitely too much car for me, but we're just going to roll with it. And then maybe in a year, I'll be like, aha, I've grown into it. But it's exciting. Don't forget to stay hydrated. And special reminder, 48 hours from now, TRI term starts. And I'm always pushing for that because that's fucking education. And education will set you free. And it did for me. So maybe it will for you too. Whatever you guys do from now until next time, have a great weekend. And always play from a position of strength. Take care.